Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music. I'm going to talk about how you can play a song called All of These Stars by Ed Sheeran. And we'll end up cabling this on first fret to kind of match the recording. We'll walk through a couple things in root position. And it does start off with these really cool licks around some chords. And we start off with kind of a bass line. This starts off with first fret on the low E, and then third fret on the A, and then open A, third on the low E, and then first fret on the low E, and then third fret on the A, another third fret on the A, and then third fret on the low E, and another third fret on the low E. And if you wanted to, actually, you could follow just that bass line. This is what it looks like Ed's kind of doing, is working 5th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G string. It's kind of an alternating idea. I'm doing that fingerstyle. I'm using my thumb for my bass and kind of index middle to kind of lock into the G string, or the D string and the G string. We're actually kind of playing a G and a C note. So if you're really adventurous and you want to kind of play it like Ed, you could do low E on the first fret, and then kind of throw in an index middle index, kind of right after that bass note. And then third on the A string, same idea. And then open A, and you may want to do just thumb index middle, and then third fret on the low E for thumb index middle. So that part's a little bit faster for the A, G. And then we end up back on the F, and then back to the C, and another C, and then the low E third. And then you may want to readjust the shape that we're working from 5 to 5 to 4 on the G, 5th on the D for that last G chord. So you kind of got an F, C, A, G, F, C, C, G, G. If you want to kind of follow those ideas. Or you could just generalize that into some chords by starting on an F major chord. And normally you do this as a first fret bar, second finger on the G second, third finger on the A third, pinky on the D third. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an F major chord, and it sounds really happy. And a good substitute for that, if you're just starting out, could be an F major 7, doing first finger on the B first fret, second finger on the G second, third finger on the D third. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds an F major 7, that sounds really happy. Or you might even dig on an F major 13, doing first finger on the G second, second finger on the D third, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. Kind of working that for the F. And then from the F, we'd be going to a C major chord. And normally you do this first finger on the B first fret, second finger on the G second, third finger on the A third. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, the beautiful sounds of C major. Now you may also dig on lifting off the first finger and making that a C major 7, or adding in the pinky on the B third for a C major 9 and kind of saying some stuff around the chord. Or you may dig on a C major 9 a different way, doing first finger on the D second, second finger on the A third, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, kind of working that for the C. And then from the C, we'd be going to an A minor chord for that A bass note. And normally you do that first finger on the B first fret, second finger on the D second, third finger on the G second. And if you strum all those together, the sad sounds of A minor. Now you may also dig on lifting off the first finger and making that an A sus2, or adding in the pinky on the B third for an A suspended chord and kind of saying some stuff around that chord. Or another possibility is to lift the third finger, making an A minor 7, or add in the pinky on the high E third for an A minor 7. Or you may dig on an A7 sus, doing first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. That way you can kind of keep that third finger, fourth finger down for kind of that F, C, A, and then we'd be going to a G. And normally you do this first finger on the A second, second finger on the low E third, third finger on the high E third. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord. It sounds really happy. Now you may also dig on putting third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, and kind of working that for your G major through the song. And so through that intro, the weird part is our A minor G happen a little bit quicker. So if you could kind of even work a down idea through this, kind of 4 downs on the F, 4 on the C, and then 2 on the A minor, 2 on the G, 4 on the F, and then 8 on the C, or 4 on the C, 4 plus 4 on the C, and then G with 4, and then another 4. So you may kind of dig on working it just that way, actually, kind of F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. Or you may dig on working this with a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns with a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, down, up. So we took the F major 7 and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. A couple ways you could kind of apply that depending on how fast you are at that pattern. You may want to think just a down, down, up on each chord if you're just starting out. Kind of an F down, down, up, C down, down, up, and then do just a down on the A minor G. F, C, C, G, G, kind of through that intro and our verse progression. Or if you're quick enough, you could do the whole pattern, and on the A minor G, you could do a down, down, up to kind of half those chords, or you could even split the pattern and do the A minor with the down, down, up, and then go to the G with the up, down, up. This would be really challenging. It's actually kind of quick that way. F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. Or something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So on the F bar, you'd have the low E for the bass. On the F major 7, you'd have the D for the bass. On the C, you'd have the A for the bass. On the A minor, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the G, you'd have the low E for the bass. So we're kind of following that bass line we kind of started with. And you could work it as just kind of that bass down up on each chord and just do the downs on the A minor G. F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. Or if you're quick enough, you can kind of add basses to the other pattern. F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. Kind of work that whole pattern. Or if you kind of want to do the fingerstyle feel, but that stretch to the F is a pain in the butt. What you may want to do is kind of work thumb, index, middle, ring, actually. And a lot of times what works really well is to use the thumb for your bass player. And you can kind of line up the index, middle, ring on the D string, G string, B string. So I'm going thumb on the low E, index on the D, middle on the G, ring finger on the B string. And kind of just going straight through the fingers, thumb, index, middle, ring. Might be kind of a cool way to do it. Or if you're using the F major 7, you may want to line up your fingers on the G, B, and E. Kind of index on the G, middle finger on the B, ring finger on the high E. And you can work kind of the higher strings, but kind of get that fingerstyle feel. And the weird part is on the A minor G, you may want to double time on those. So you'd have kind of your F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G, F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. And when we get to our chords, actually, we're kind of mixing up a lot of those same chords, and you can mix that up any of those ways we've been talking about. So if you wanted to, you could even kind of follow those intro ideas, kind of that C idea. C, G, Or you could work some of the strumming ideas. You can do the down, down up on those chords. C, G, A minor. Or you might dig on ahead and the basses to that. Or you're quick enough, kind of get that whole pattern in on each chord. Different ways you could kind of work it. You may want to find a way and kind of run with it. Now the weird part is to play along with Ed, instead of starting on an F major chord, he's starting on an F sharp major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on first fret, then now your F major is really an F sharp major, and your C is really a C sharp major, and your A minor is really an A sharp minor, and your G is really a G sharp major. But to take it from the very beginning, you can still work kind of those intro licks, kind of that F idea. C, A, G, F, C, G. Or if you're digging on the other fingerstyle idea, you can kind of work that F, C, A minor, G, F, C, G. Or you could work the strumming ideas, kind of that bass down up. F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. Or you can do the really quick down, down, up, down, up. F, C, A minor, G, F, C, C, G, G. Or there's all kinds of ways you may want to play around with it. If you're digging on the fingerstyle, you may want to try and kind of fill in more time. Actually, I'm just digging on this pattern, but kind of thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, middle. So I'm going thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, middle. And that's a cool lick too, actually. Around the G, sometimes you will hear him kind of do a hammer on onto the first fret on the B string. Maybe even a hammer on back. Actually, I'll tap that lick. If you kind of dig on that, kind of on that last G. So there's all kinds of ways you can mix it up, different finger patterns. As long as timing-wise you're still on the right chord at the right time, I think you can mix it up all kinds of ways. F, C, A minor, G, F, C, G. I want to kind of play around with that. And then from there, we'll be going into our first chorus after we kind of repeat that one time for our intro and kind of, or 4 times all the way through. So on our first chorus, you could follow those intro licks, actually, kind of that C, C, G. Or you might throw in that 5 to 4, A minor, and C, G, C. Got lost in that little G lick there. So you may want to kind of play around with that resolution from the 5/5 to the 4/5 on the G chord. Or working hammer-ons around that could be cool too. Or you could work some of the strumming options. And we have a C, or you can do the down, down, up, kind of the bass down, up. C, C, G, G, A minor, or if you're quick enough, were talking about. C, G, A minor, F, C. You can scale it down, if that seems really crazy to you. From there, then we'll be going into our next verse. So we're kind of back to our F, C, A minor, G, F, C, G, F, C, A minor, G, F, C, G, experiment with all those ideas, kind of find a way that works for you. And then from there, then we go into our second chorus, which is a little variation on the first chorus. But we kind of have our C, G, A minor, F, and then go to G, and then go back to C. Some of those other fingerstyle ideas. C, G, A minor, F, G, C, just some of those strum options. Kind of C, G, A minor, F, G, C, very end, we kind of go back into kind of a little piece of our intro for the outro. We want to follow those main licks, the F, C, A, G, and then kind of ending on the F. Or you could kind of work those other fingerstyle ideas. C, A minor, G, F. Or you could work the strumming ideas. So the F, C, A minor, G, F. Or if you're quick enough, you can work the down, 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 F, C, A minor, G, and kind of a big F. Very, very end. And I know that's a big stretch randomly for that F idea through the tune. And actually, one thing that can really help with that, especially if you'll notice, especially on the live version that I'm kind of working off of from the voice, where Ed is using a strap and the neck is way up here. A lot of times I teach the lessons down here because that way I can get the titles up on the screen. But you may want to experiment with head angle, especially on this tune, to kind of make that stretch. Something else you may want to watch for is like your thumb placement. If you get your thumb closer to the third finger, fourth finger, sometimes that can kind of help facilitate that stretch. You know, and I say that, I don't know, everybody's hand's a little different, so you want to play around with that. But definitely higher head angle can definitely help. This is like Steve Vai cello position, but so you may want to experiment with that, especially if you're really interested in kind of working the main licks. Or using a strap and standing up can definitely help with that, making that stretch for those chords. Play around with that a little bit with all your guitar. The songs actually a lot of times higher head angle makes the left hand a lot easier in general. But that's the basics of how you could strum through and fingerstyle through all of these stars by Ed Sheeran. So good luck!